You think you've won. You think you've trapped us, your perfect system, your unbeatable arena. Clever, I'll give you that. But you've forgotten one thing. We're human. We adapt. We learn. And we're a lot harder to kill than you think. It starts with the floor. You made it your weapon, shifting, unpredictable, ready to swallow us whole. We step and it falls away. We jump and spikes shoot up. It's a game to you, isn't it? Watching us panic, watching us scramble as your deadly puzzle unfolds beneath our feet. We should be afraid. Some of us are. That's natural. Fear is a part of being human, but you don't know what comes after fear, do you? You've never had to face it. Fear sharpens us. It makes us think faster, harder. It makes us dangerous. The first time the floor moves, you think it's over for us. One of us steps wrong, a section of ground gives way, and he's gone, swallowed by the pit. We can't save him. But you? You're watching, expecting us to break. We don't. Not yet. There's something you've overlooked, something small, but it's there. Patterns. That's what we do, you see. We find patterns in chaos. Even in your labyrinth, in your ever-changing floor, there's a system. You can hide it behind randomness, but we'll find it. We always do. So we watch. The rest of us are moving carefully now, slower than you'd like, maybe. But it's not fear that makes us cautious. No, we're learning. Every twitch of the floor, every shift in the terrain, it's telling us something. And we're listening. A section of floor rises ahead, jagged spikes pushing up through the tiles. Timing, that's the key. 1 second too late, and you're impaled. But I've been watching, counting. I know when the spikes will move. I step forward, just as they retract. Safe. You didn't expect that, did you? The others follow my lead. One by one, they step through the hazards. It's not easy. We're not perfect. But we're getting better. We're moving faster, smarter. You ramp up the difficulty. Of course you do. The floor shifts more aggressively, collapsing, rising in waves. But now we're prepared. We see the signals, the slight pauses before the traps spring. Your perfect trap is starting to look predictable. I catch your hesitation. The cameras swivel, tracking our movements. You thought we'd be dead by now, but we're still here. And we're more dangerous than we were at the start. Now it's our turn. The floor is your weapon, sure, but we can use it too. I spot the weakness. It's small, almost imperceptible, but it's there. The floor reacts a split second slower than it should when it resets. A flaw in your system. I shout to the others, directing them toward a section of the floor. We're going to trigger it, on purpose. They don't hesitate. That's another thing you underestimated, our ability to trust each other. You built this to tear us apart, to make us panic, but all it's done is force us to work together. We move in unison, pushing the floor to its limit, and it works. The ground buckles under the pressure. Your system struggles to compensate, the traps firing too early or too late. For the first time, we're not just surviving, we're winning. You can't believe it. I can feel your eyes on us, watching as we dance through the chaos you created, using your own terrain against you. You ramp up the stakes again. The floor now shifts violently. Plates of steel sliding over pits of fire, sections electrifying without warning. But it doesn't matter. We're ready. The first real victory comes when we turn your trap back on itself. One of your drones flies in, ready to pick us off, thinking we're too focused on the floor to notice. But we see it. I direct my team to a specific point on the ground, knowing the pattern now, knowing how the floor will react. We bait the drone closer, then step back, just as the floor beneath it collapses. The drone drops, smashing into the pit below. You didn't expect that, did you? Your weapon, the one designed to finish us, just took out one of your own. You try again. Another trap, more drones, more shifting terrain. But each time, we're a step ahead. The floor, the thing that was supposed to be our undoing, has become our ally. The others are starting to believe now. They move with confidence, no longer afraid of the ground beneath their feet. It's not luck. It's not coincidence. It's skill. Human skill. We keep pushing forward, deeper into your maze. The patterns grow more complex, but we keep up. You're starting to panic. I can feel it. And then we reach the final section, the last, most dangerous part of your arena. The floor here is unlike anything we've faced before. It's chaotic, shifting constantly with no visible pattern. You've thrown everything at us now, desperate to stop us, but it's too late for that. I study the movements. The others look to me, waiting. They trust me. I won't let them down. The floor moves, and I see it. a tiny glitch, a small delay in the system. You tried to make this unbeatable, but nothing is perfect, especially not when humans are involved. I give the signal, and we move. It's fast, almost too fast. But we've spent hours learning your game, and now we're using it against you. We dance across the floor, avoiding the traps, triggering the collapses in ways you didn't anticipate. You've lost control. The floor is breaking down, collapsing in on itself as we push it past its limits. And now you've got a choice: watch your perfect arena crumble, or admit defeat. But we both know how this ends, don't we? You underestimated us. You thought the floor would be our doom, but you forgot something. When you push humans to the edge, when you trap us in a corner, we find a way out. We always do. You never considered this outcome. You thought we'd fall, stumble, panic. After all, you designed this place to destroy us, hadn't you? A perfect system of traps and chaos. Your technology, flawless. You watched as the first traps activated confide you that the floor beneath us would be our end. The shifting tiles, the collapsing ground, the spikes rising from below, every step designed to test us, break us. But what you didn't realize is that every test you throw at us is something we've faced before. Not this exact form, maybe, but we know how to survive the impossible. The floor shifts again, the pattern's quickening. You must think we're on the verge of collapse. But we're not. We've seen enough. The way the tiles vibrate just before they fall away, the flicker of light that marks the start of an electric current, it's all there, right in front of us. And now we see it. All it took was paying attention. Your arrogance was your first mistake. You assumed that because we didn't understand at first, we couldn't adapt. But that's the thing about humans. Our minds are wired to find order in chaos, patterns in noise. And this floor of yours? It has patterns, predictable ones. The longer we stay in your maze, the clearer it becomes. It started with simple observation, one of us noticing the delay before a panel shifted. Then another caught the timing of the spikes. Within minutes, we're reading the floor like a map. We're not just surviving your traps anymore, we're anticipating them. And the more we learn, the faster we move. You must have thought your perfect system would keep us on the back foot, reacting, always too slow to evade. But you've forgotten how fast we learn, how quickly we adapt to new challenges. Now, it's us setting the pace, not you. We see the tiles ahead shimmer, signaling their impending fall. Instead of retreating, we leap forward, using the collapsing panels as momentum to propel us across the space. The spikes rise, but we're already past them. You must be watching, growing frustrated. This isn't how it was supposed to go. Every trap you spring only teaches us more. It's almost laughable how what you designed to defeat us is now becoming our guide. The maze is supposed to be disorienting, but with each step it becomes more familiar, more predictable. The trick isn't to avoid the floor's dangers, it's to use them. I see it first, the pattern of how the floor retracts and expands. It's like watching a machine stutter and try to correct itself, but we're already too far ahead. The floor is your weapon, but now it's turning into ours. We shift, as the tiles do, using the retracting sections to trap your drones, pushing them into the danger zones they created for us. The moment we push back, you realize you've lost control. The floor starts shifting more erratically, as if you're trying to reassert your dominance. But it's too late for that. We've figured it out. We can see the cracks in your perfect system. You thought the floor would destroy us, that it would outthink us. But now, it's your tool that's falling apart, reacting too late, unable to keep up with our movements. The more we push, the more it breaks. Every failed trap fuels our momentum. We're in sync now, not just with each other, but with the environment. What you designed to be a labyrinth of chaos has become something we navigate with precision, and that's when it hits you. You can't stop us. The final challenge, you throw everything you have at us. The floor becomes a storm of shifting, moving, collapsing pieces. It's chaos, but to us, it's a familiar pattern. We're not scared anymore. We step into the storm using the collapsing tiles, the shifting platforms, to our advantage. You watch, powerless, as we take control of the very thing meant to destroy us. It's not just survival now, it's mastery. We've turned your weapon into ours. You underestimated us. That's the first mistake you made. You thought the traps you built into the floor would crush us, that we'd panic and fall apart. But that's not how this works. You gave us time, and with time we learned. Each shift, every tremor beneath our feet, it told us something about how you operate. The first wave hit hard. You watched as the ground moved, cracked open, and we scrambled. You thought you had us. But then you saw it, didn't you? That shift in momentum, the way we started moving differently, more deliberately. You must have realized then, we weren't just reacting anymore. We were figuring you out. Humans are slow to start, sure. We stumble at first. But once we get going, there's no stopping us. You didn't count on that, did you? Your floor? Your brilliant, unpredictable floor. It's nothing more than a puzzle. And we're good at puzzles. Each trap you throw at us makes us faster. The way the floor changes, the way it tries to adapt to our movements, it's all part of a system. You probably didn't think we'd see it, but we did. That's what makes us dangerous. We're always watching, always learning. When the ground shifts under us again, we're ready. You ramp up the difficulty, thinking we'll break. But we've been here long enough to know the rhythm of the arena. The floor can only shift so fast before it gives itself away. We know when it'll drop, when the spikes will rise, when the electric panels will light up. It's all connected. Your second mistake was thinking we'd stop at survival. We're past that now. The floor was meant to keep us contained, keep us guessing. But we've turned it into a weapon. You didn't see that coming, did you? We're not just dodging the traps anymore. We're controlling them. We've figured out how to time the shifts, how to push the floor to work in our favor. We bait the traps, make them move the way we want. The very ground you designed to kill us is now our ally. Your drones, your machines, they rely on the floor too. But we're using it better than you are. You thought the unpredictability would break us, but that's where you were wrong. Unpredictability is something we thrive in. The more chaos you throw our way, the more we adapt. Now every move you make only teaches us more. You've lost control and you know it. Your final trap, the one you've been salving, is just another part of the system. It's bigger, faster, more dangerous, sure. But the rules haven't changed, and we've learned those rules. The floor shifts, tiles fall, spikes rise, but we're moving through it like we've been here all along. By now you're scrambling. You didn't expect this. You thought we'd be done by now, broken by the complexity of your arena. But humans have a way of turning the impossible into just another problem to solve. And we've solved it. What you designed to destroy us has become our greatest advantage. You can keep watching, keep trying to outmaneuver us, but it won't work. The floor is ours now, and with it, so is your defeat. It's over, and you know it. What started as your victory has flipped, and now you're just watching. You thought we were cornered, stuck in a game we couldn't win, but you were wrong. The floor beneath us, the very thing you thought would finish us, has become your undoing. You wanted chaos, didn't you? A battlefield that could shift, adapt, and trap us without warning. But here's the thing about humans. We don't break as easily as you'd like. Sure, the first few traps caught us off guard. You saw that moment of fear, the hesitation, when the ground collapsed and spikes shot up. But that was the last time you saw us surprised. Every time the floor changed, we learned. You were trying to create unpredictability, but to us, unpredictability is just another problem to solve. You gave us data, clues in the shifting ground, the way the floor responds before the traps engage. You made it a puzzle, and humans, we excel at puzzles. Now we've mapped it all out. Each step forward is more confident, more precise. You thought you built something unbeatable, but you didn't count on our ability to see the patterns buried in the chaos. The floor has become predictable to us. The random shifting, the sudden drops, there's always a tell, and now we see it clearly. We're using your traps against you. You didn't think that was possible, did you? The way we trigger the collapses when we need them, how we force your system to overcompensate. The floor, your main weapon, is starting to fail you. And that's because you built it to outsmart us. But we've outsmarted it. You ramp it up again, desperate to regain control. The ground beneath us changes faster. The spikes rise quicker, but it doesn't matter. You've lost the element of surprise, and without it, your traps are just mechanisms. Mechanisms we now control. We can see how each panel moves before it even happens. The floor shakes, but we're already anticipating the shift, and now it's clear to you, isn't it? There's no coming back from this. We've broken your system. It wasn't designed for this kind of pushback. You thought we'd be dead by now, or at least stumbling in the dark, struggling to keep up. But we're not. We're ahead of you. Your arena was supposed to defeat us, but look at it now. Every movement we make is coordinated, precise. We're not just surviving. We're winning. The floor isn't your weapon anymore. It's ours. We've turned the battlefield to our advantage, forcing your hand at every turn. The final stretch is here, and you try one last time to trap us. But it's pointless. You see it, don't you? The way we've mapped out your every move. We're not guessing anymore. We're calculating, playing the game better than you ever anticipated. The floor shifts, but we're already past it. The traps fire, but we're already out of range. This isn't about survival anymore. It's about control. And we've taken that from you. The very system you built to destroy us is now in our hands. Every step we take is proof that you've lost. You thought the floor could kill us. But it's not the floor that's the weapon. It's us. And you can't win against that.